Auckland. He's looking for victory here in early April on the Gold Coast.
Well, if Jonathan Brownlee can run anywhere near his performance from Auckland, then I'm sure he must be feeling confident as he approaches the final stages of this 40-kilometre bike.
So he has 4 laps to run, 4 laps of 2.5 kilometres each to complete the 10,000-metre run. The guys will start to be thinking about the arrival in transition, loosening their shoes, removing their feet, getting the dismount right. They've got a little bit of work to do before they get there, and they'll also get a chance to eyeball the chasers. Massive group going one way, the leaders heading off in the opposite direction towards transition and the end of the 8th and final lap on 2 wheels.
A lot more difficult for a big pack like this to go around the very, very tight bends, looking not just at the road conditions, but how many people they've got in front, behind, next to them. A little bit easier, a little bit not over there from Richard Varga to Johnny Brownlee. Just 22 seconds gap now.
There are some very strong runners in that chase group, and 22 seconds will not faze them. Somebody from that chase group has a chance of making the podium. Now Johnny starts to accelerate a little with the final stages on 2 wheels approaching. He goes ahead of Richard Varga, and Dimitri Polyansky stays with them, looking for a little injection of pace on the final few metres of this 40k bike. An hour and 16 minutes has passed as Jonathan Brownlee removes his feet from his shoes and then rests them on top of the pedals, getting set for the second and final transition. What a race so far from these 3. And Jonathan Brownlee, wearing the golden #1 as the world #1 in the standings, arrives first in transition with his training partner Richard Varga and Dimitri Polyansky. Here they come, chance to park the bikes. Polyansky goes to his position at number 34. Brownlee arrives at #1. Right shoe on, left shoe is on. Brownlee first in and first out of transition. Polyansky and Varga have been left behind, and meanwhile the Mola and Gomez group arrives. Let's see if these guys can put down a clean transition. Ben Shaw and Marco van der Stel coming. Richard Murray, another good runner. He could take a few seconds out of the lead, the South African, and could push for a place in the top 5. But it's Mola who leads them away. They'll be looking for company. Gomez is just a few seconds behind, and Olaza a further 3 seconds back. Will the 3 Spaniards group together and work together as they attempt to claw back that huge gap to Jonathan Brownlee and the leaders?
Well, surely that has to be their tactics, just to help each other, certainly for the first 5 kilometres, because this man is running so strongly at the moment. Now we've got Mola, we've got Gomez, we've got Murray there. 3 great runners, people who could make an impact. Well, we're seeing the effects from that cycle section on these 2. Dimitri Polyansky there, pain and suffering all over his face. Richard Varga hanging on well, running strongly. Is this going to be his breakthrough? But we can see that chase pack already. They're closing in on these 2.
Realistically, Varga won't last long in 3rd position. He'll be swallowed up by that chase group. Meanwhile, Jonathan Brownlee is bouncing along on lap 1, the leader in the World Triathlon Series rankings for 2015, the Olympic bronze medalist, the winner of the Auckland World Triathlon Series, is leading the way on the Gold Coast.
Well, Johnny Brownlee out there in front, and his 2 compatriots from the lead bunch now being swallowed up. Now, who's that there? Just coming on Richard Varga. You can see Richard Murray, there's Mola, there's Gomez, and there's Hernandez also. 3 Spaniards. Here we go with Mola. Mola, the first one to make that leap.
Mola goes past Polyansky, who's going backwards now. Richard Varga's work is done. His work in the water always sensational, and he rode well today, keeping Jonathan Brownlee company, but he has no company now, our leader. Jonathan Brownlee's advantage over the chase group is a very impressive 26 seconds.
Well, Johnny Brownlee, what he always does, go out flat out on the run, try to extend that gap in the first 2-3 kilometres and then maintain that gap through to the finish. It's a hard tactic to play, but he does it so well.
Now Richard Murray is there, the South African, wearing number 7. He's a pretty big unit, Richard Murray, but he runs well, and he'll fancy his chances of getting on the WTS podium here on the Gold Coast at the end of lap 1 after an hour, 23 minutes and 50 seconds. Jonathan Brownlee leads them through. The loneliness of the middle distance runner. He won't mind though. What a start to this 10,000 metre run by Jonathan Brownlee. Looking for 2 in a row. And he leads them at the end of lap 1. Javier Gomez has the most World Triathlon Series wins with 10. But Jonathan Brownlee is hot on his heels with 9. He could tie the Spaniard today for victory here on the Gold Coast. And he has a significant lead at the end of lap 1 with 7,500 metres still to run. Mario Mola leads the chasers through with Richard Murray and 2 more Spaniards, Javier Gomez and Fernando Alaza in that group. Pierre Lecour is not far, in fact it's not Alaza, it's Vicente Hernandez, the Spaniard who is joining the chase group. Courtney Atkinson of Australia and Dimitri Polyansky continues to go backwards. Alaza is a few seconds behind. Tony Dodds of New Zealand in 13th at the moment. João Pereira, Portuguese triathlete, down in 15th. Lots of guys looking for personal best today. There's Pereira, he's been on the podium in the past. Not at his best right now, João Pereira. Oh, there's a bit of argy-bargy going on between Tony Dodds of New Zealand and Richard Varga of Slovakia. A little bit of pushing and shoving and scratching and biting. Very un-triathlon-like. Here it is again now. They stepped on each other's toes, I think. There was a shove from Varga, a few choice words from Dodds. A word in your show, like, sir, said Richard Varga.
Well, this is the man who doesn't have to worry about any people getting too close to him, treading on his toes, because I don't think there's any male triathlete in the world at the moment who could be treading on Johnny Brownlee's toes. Be interesting to see when Alistair comes back. But at the moment in this race, Johnny Brownlee leads, and is that Mario Mola there, who's beginning to get away from the chasing pack?
Yeah, Mario Mola with his familiar white visor. The winner of the first round of the 2015 series with victory on the 7th of March in Abu Dhabi. And Mola holds second position. Halfway through the run, Jonathan Brownlee looks absolutely comfortable right now. In control of his pace. 1 hour 31 minutes. 2 down, 2 to go. Halfway through the run and being warmly applauded. The Olympic bronze medalist is about to start lapping some of the back markers. No sign yet of Mario Mola, who's in second. We're going to check on the time difference. Mola will find out exactly what he needs to do if he's to beat Jonathan Brownlee today, but it's a thankless task. Mola chasing through. We can see him from the helicopter shot, coming across the start-finish line in transition. And he too is lapping 1 or 2. Richard Murray currently holding third. 26 seconds is the gap. Halfway through the run. Brownlee leads, Mola second, Murray in third, then Gomez and Hernandez in fourth and fifth.
Well, Gomez just dropped to the back of that trailing trio. Now, is this going to be a big event for Javier Gomez? Because, OK, he's running with us. He normally likes to be leading a pack or maybe in the middle, but just seeing him third out of 3 at the moment, that's unusual. And maybe he's just preempted us, taking a bit of a break when we picked him up. He's now put the pedal down. He's going for it. A big acceleration, trying to get away from these two.
Now, can Gomez break Murray? If it was a sprint finish, you'd put your money on Gomez, but this isn't for the victory. It's for third position. Murray is fit and fast at the moment. He's in good shape, and he watched that break of Gomez and controlled it. Mola in second. The battle on behind for third. Out in front, Jonathan Brownlee is all on his own. And you can see from this camera angle the gap between first and second, and the guys battling it out for third. Murray seems to have been dropped now. Gomez has had another go and has moved into outright third position. 3 kilometres to run. Jonathan Brownlee leads for Great Britain. Stage 3 of the 2015 World Triathlon Series. And Brownlee is the man to beat this season. Starting to rock and roll from side to side. In some races you look at that as a sign of fatigue. It's just Mola's running style. At the end of lap 3, when Jonathan Brownlee will take the bell, he's in command of this Gold Coast race. 1 hour, 39 minutes and 3 seconds after 3/4 of the run. And the Australian public highly supportive of the likeable Jonathan Brownlee, and indeed his older brother Alistair, who's still recovering from injury, but will expect to start in Cape Town the next round.
Well, now this is going to be interesting. Mola holding second place at the moment, over 30 seconds down, but does Javier Gomez just 5 seconds behind Mola. He made a huge impact on that lap. Has he gone too quickly? Is he going to be able to close the gap? I don't think anybody can close the gap on this young man at the moment. Less than 2 kilometres to go, and if anything, Mola has moved away again from Gomez, and Gomez, perhaps, for the first time, looks to be struggling just a little.
Brownlee leads, Mola second. In the battle between the two Spaniards, Hernandez and Gomez for third, and Richard Murray's bid for a podium place in this Gold Coast Triathlon appears to be at an end. The South African trails back in 5th position at this stage. Now Hernandez is a man to watch this season. Giant strides he's made. The Spaniards with such strength in depth. A race within a race here between the two Spaniards. But Jonathan Brownlee is miles out in front on his way to his second successive World Triathlon Series win. Brownlee approaching the final stages of this Gold Coast race. Mario Mola holding on for second position, with Javier Gomez now having broken Vicente Hernandez, holding third and gritting his teeth. Richard Murray is a distant 5th at this stage, the South African hoping for so much better. But he will save his best, I'm sure, for the next race in his home country, which will be in Cape Town. Forget about the German coming through. He's a back marker. But it's Jonathan's race here on the Gold Coast today. A selfie for his troubles as he comes past. He has made light work of this World Triathlon Series competition. Round 3 of the series on the Gold Coast. A little glance over his shoulder, but there's no danger at all. He can enjoy the moment now. Jonathan Brownlee, the Olympic bronze medalist, comes cruising onto the carpet, and now he can enjoy the moment. They're reaching out for a high five. Jonathan is keeping himself to himself, coming home now for his second successive gold medal. It's the golden double in the Southern Hemisphere for Jonathan Brownlee. He wins in a time of 1 hour, 46 minutes and 53 seconds. Mario Mola about to finish for the silver medal for Spain, but he is getting on for 20 seconds slower than Jonathan. Second place for Mario Mola today, 18 seconds behind the winner. And Javier Gomez has broken Vicente Hernandez to take third. Yet another World Triathlon Series podium. And Vicente Hernandez of Spain has finished in 4th. An excellent race in Australia and a wonderful win for Jonathan Brownlee, with Mario Mola taking second and Javier Gomez finishing third.
Igor crashed in front of me just coming through transition, and I basically had to jump over his back wheel, and I thought I was down, and after that